Hello humans, welcome back to my dining room table. This is going to be the conclusion of the project I started last year, which was the Project Single Shadows. I believe I started this in April-ish, springtime. This lovely, gigantic palette, known as the Big Fucker, might be familiar to you. And I've decided to wrap up this project. I did not meet my goal of using every single shadow that I had, but I made some excellent decisions. I used most of them, and I just went through and culled so many shadows out of my collection. So, this is now empty. It looks very different from the last time you will have seen it. And let's talk some numbers. So, since my last update, which was in like October, in October I used 8 shadows, in November I used 2, in February I used 4, and in March I used 12 because I remembered that I was doing this project. That means I used 26 shadows since October. Not great, but you know, whatever. And at my last update, I had 229 shadows, which again seems incorrect. I don't know how plus 8 strobe ones that were coming. So 238. That makes more sense. I would have had 238 shadows. Now, we are not using this currently, but I went through, I grouped everything by color. And I got rid of all of the duplicate shades that I had. So I have a declutter pile, which I will show you first. I have 14 that I'm just going to toss. They're old, they're not good, they're depotted, that kind of a thing. They're in here. And I am going to try and sell or give to people 30. So we have some Lethal Cosmetic shadows. I've decided I just don't really like the formula of Lethal, so if I didn't need this shade, I didn't keep it. These are Menagerie shades that I'm just not gravitating towards, that I know I'm not going to use. 2 from Divina, 1 from Sydney Grace. These 4 are all Cleonid, 1 ColourPop, and then these are all Looksy. Another formula that I don't really like. I don't get on with it very well. I've come to terms that even though they are very affordable shadows, they're not my personal preference. So these are all shades I am going to get rid of. Now, let's get into all of the shadows I have. Eventually, I've ordered a few more palettes from Cleonid because these are beautiful magnetic palettes. They're excellent quality and they have a great big mirror and they're way more easily accessible for me to get than a Z palette. And it's a Canadian company, which I would like to support. So, very excited about that. Since we have this palette out, yes, so eventually I want to transfer all of the mismatched palettes. I have, you know, ColourPop, Cheapies, Z palette, Amazon. I have this Shine by SD one that is good in theory, but it's warped. So eventually I want to transfer everything into these lovely little guys. About 3, we'll see how far it goes. I don't mind using some Z palettes, but I just need to not have 15 different sizes. 2 sizes is good. I'm good with 2 sizes. But since we have this one out, let's start with that one. This is all of the greens. Oh yeah, it's so beautiful. So I've sort of separated this out with the shimmers, duochromes, and then all of the mattes that I have. And I think I have a good variety here without having duplicates. And if I do have duplicates, they're more like special shades. ColourPop has orange and peaches. because I didn't really know how to categorize these. I don't have very many. I don't wear oranges very much. There's a few here. We have some Give Me Glow, Shine by SD, Stroud, a Depotted September Rose palette, an ABH. These are all the yellows. Yellows and sort of golds. I don't have very many of these again. Oh, missing is the Broken Terra Moons shade that I'm going to try and repress. That broke today. But again, I don't need 17 yellows. I will also mention, these do not include my Dude You Pant My Battleship shadow. So I have 15 singles that are not included in these palettes. Like, I know I have a yellow, a pink, a blue. So they're just not in these palettes, but I do still have them. Blues, I kind of ran out of magnetic palettes, so we have them separated. Mattes and shimmers. Now, I do have 3 navy blues, but I do think they're kind of different. This Davina one, I'm pretty sure it's Davina. Oh, this is Looksy. What? This Looksy one is like so dark it's almost black. This September Rose one is like very blue, and then this is just sort of a regular navy. So I didn't like get rid of all of my eyeshadow. I still wanted to have variations. So all of my mattes, all of my shimmers, and most of these ones are like special shades, which makes me very happy. Although I do think I'm missing just like a regular kind of like mid or light blue shade shimmer that's not like a topper shade. So that's something to keep in mind with my shopping, because there are still singles I want to try, but I don't need repetitive shades. Now let's get into this Shine by SD palette. As you can see, it's kind of warped, so it doesn't close anymore. I think that's my fault. I think like spraying setting spray around it made the cardboard warp, but it is what it is. So in here we have all of my neutrals, shimmers, mattes, and these are more the cool to neutral tone neutrals. These are more of the warm tone neutrals. We have like a goldy one, we have like a mauvey one that I probably should move somewhere, but I didn't know where to put it. These are all of the teals. I found that I had a lot, and I still do, because I couldn't decide on which ones to get rid of. I have a lot of just like mid-tone teal shimmers. Some of them are slightly more blue, some are slightly more green. Some have like a gold reflect, which these two do. These ones are more like a silver reflect. So, like, I wasn't trying to get rid of all of my eyeshadows. I still want to have some variety, some brands, you know. I gave myself some leeway. And this one is the hardest one to look at, but these are all the pinks. Pinks, reds, that type of thing. I don't have very many reds, clearly. I have a couple of reds in eyeshadow palettes that I know are great quality, so I didn't feel the need to have them in singles because I don't use them very often. I do have this like strawberry red, which I don't have anywhere else, and this burgundy, which I also don't have anywhere else. But this is what it is. We have a lot of special shades. Every single one of these pinks is a duochrome. Every single one. Which is good because I don't wear pinks that often that are just like pink. It has to be special. And lastly, we have the purples. Purples I also found really hard to categorize because I have so many different variants. There's like the periwinkles. Like, is that a blue? Is that a purple? What do I do with that? This is a purple with a blue shift. This is a purple with a green shift. I have a lot of purples with blue shifts, actually. Purple with a pink shift. So these ones are hard to categorize, and it looks kind of messy. But that just means that I don't have the same shades 15 times over. And that is the updated single collection. I went from 238 shadows to 184. these palettes, plus the 15 in my Do Japan My Battleship project. And some of those might not last. I mean, I might use up most of them, most of the product in some of them. And a couple of them are like pretty broken, so they're not going to survive very long. So they might not survive after the end of this project, but I'm so much happier with how things are looking. And I'm glad that I've condensed my collection to formulas I like and colors that I like. And that's it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to, and ring the bell to become a Pavlovian dog. See you next time. Bye.